Hey, what's going on, everybody? Coming at you today with another how-to video for the map Gorod Krovi, and today I'm actually going to be showing you how to get the Gauntlet of Siegfried, which is the specialist weapon in the map. And it's actually a pretty cool specialist weapon, although the steps to getting it are insanely difficult and drawn out. So as you can see right there, from the Pack-a-Punch location, down in the basement there's an egg. You shoot it. When it drops down, you or a teammate can grab it. And there is a shared inventory system in this game. So if anybody grabs it, you've got it. There's only one egg. It's, collectively everyone's egg. Now, to see this challenge, to get the egg, and to see the further challenges, there are 6 challenges in total that have to do with this egg and with getting the specialist weapon. From the spawn area, there are 4, they look like tombstones to me, with everyone's challenges on them. And so you can go to yours, and on the very bottom, it will always say acquire a dragon egg, and all of the steps thereafter for the bottom trials will be the same every single game. So the second step, as you can see right there, is to place the egg in an egg nest. Now there is an egg nest in any area of the map where a dragon breathes fire, and the trial is to get to bathe the egg in dragon's breath flames, in dragon fire. So what you're going to want to do is just set it there in a nest. It doesn't have to be this one. It can be any of them throughout the map. I just chose this one because the spawn is big and I can train there and I know exactly where the nest is, and I don't feel that confident about some of the other areas. But so once you've set it there, you just want to wait until the dragon comes down and breathes fire on it, and then that'll be good. You don't actually have to stay here and watch it and guard it like I did. I just did it because I wanted to know when it was done. Now afterwards, you're going to have to wait an entire round before you can pick the egg up. It'll say it has to cool down. And so that's, again, a little bit tedious. You'll probably notice this video is most likely going to be a little bit longer than most of my how-to videos, and that's because this is an extremely long and drawn-out process. And I mean, the reward is great. There you can see the egg has to cool down now. The reward is great, but I mean, to do this every single game, I don't see it happening. However, it is a really cool specialist weapon. Now, again, to check the next step in the trial, you would have to go up to the tombstone where your trials are at, here in the spawn. Now, I didn't do it in this gameplay because I already know what the next steps are going to be. I tried this for probably 6 hours before I actually got it. I know, how embarrassing is that? But the next step after your egg is cooled off and you've picked it back up is actually to kill napalm zombies. Now, it doesn't say specifically how many napalm zombies you have to kill. It doesn't give you exact numbers, but it just says to kill napalm zombies. And napalm zombies are, of course, when the dragon comes down and breathes fire, the zombies that are on fire and explode when you kill them are the napalm zombies. I would say probably about 10 of those collectively as a group, or just yourself, can be killed, and then that step will be completed. And again, everything is a shared inventory, everything is collective, so you could not necessarily do these trials at all, and if someone else on your team is doing them, it still counts for you as well. And so everybody can look at their inventory and see, a bar around the egg that charges as these trials are completed, and kind of see where you're at. And again, you can always come back to your tombstone here and see where you're at. So right now where it's at is get penetrating multi-kills. Now, this was extremely frustrating for me when I tried it. It probably took 20 minutes when we finally actually got it. The wonder weapon doesn't count, and alternate ammo types from double pack-a-punching guns doesn't count. You have to kill multiple zombies with one bullet. And I think really the best way to do that is going to be to find an area in the map to camp. And then, just stay there and camp with maybe the sniper rifle or a shotgun, something that can kill multiple zombies in one shot. But once you've done that, the next thing you're going to want to do is it's going to say you need to get melee kills. Now, melee kills could be with, obviously, a melee weapon, the Bowie knife. If you have insta-kill, just knifing zombies. There's actually trials you can do to get multiplayer melee weapons in the game, and you can use any of those. But I think for me the easiest one really was to just use the shield. Now I don't know if the fire blast attack works for this, but you only get 3 of those, so I really didn't, try it out anyway because I was only going to get 3 shots with it. But what you want to do is take the shield and just melee attack zombies and kill them. And again, you or anyone on your team can do that. And once that's completed, you'll be on the final step of the process of filling the egg. Now, I do want to point out really quick before I move on to the final step that probably the best idea is to come down here into the bunker area to get your melee kills with the shield. That way you can just right straight away grab a new shield, because it seems like everybody always breaks their shield and then it's a sporadic, oh, we all got to go get a new shield. So it'd be easiest when you're doing this step if you're just down here by the shield anyway. And so anyway, moving on to the final step in the process here is going to actually be to go back to the Pack-a-Punch area where you initially got the egg from, and you're going to go down and you'll see 2 egg incubators. And what you're going to do is you're going to walk up to them and you're going to hold square and it puts the egg in. Now the second you do this, it's going to lock down the area, and whoever is inside of this area is stuck here. And anyone not in the area can't come down. Pack-a-Punch can't be used. You can't leave. I believe for 1 whole round, or maybe it's a certain amount of kills. And again, kind of like maybe filling up your eggs in Shadows of Evil, or doing the skulls in Zetsubo no Shima. And so what you'll want to do is you'll want to just run trains around here and kill zombies. But the reason that I point out that it does lock it down is if you are playing, if you're playing solo, it doesn't matter. You just can't leave. But if you're playing co-op with other people, it's important to note that, hey, I'm doing this, I'm about to put it in there, I'm about to lock it down, because anyone that's in there with you can't leave, and anyone that's not in there with you can't come down and help. So you'll want to have good communication there. Pretty much everything on this map requires a fair amount of good communication, so just be aware that it does lock it down. Now once you complete it, it's going to say yet again that the egg needs to cool down, and it will actually need to cool for an entire round. Now what this means is if you did this on round 17, round 18 will actually be the cooldown round, and on round 19 you can get it back. So it has to cool for one entire round. So not just the round that you're on, once that finishes, then one more round, and then the next round you can come get it. So it's almost more like 2 rounds depending on at what point you put your egg in. But so once you've done this, you've incubated it, you've killed the zombies around it, you can leave and continue on with your game, and just know that like I did it on round 17, so we knew on round 19 to come back and get the egg. And once you've done that, you'll just go back to the spawn area, go back to I keep calling them tombstones. I think they look like tombstones to me, where you can see your trials, and it'll actually show you on the bottom where you've been checking your trials for this. It'll actually say to collect your reward. So once you hold square and collect your reward, it'll actually a skull hand will pop up out of the ground and will give you your reward. And you go up to it and hold square again, grab that, and you will see your specialist weapon fully charged. And it's actually pretty cool. It's a baby dragon on your wrist, and then a gauntlet around your wrist as well. And this has a few different effects, which I'm going to show you now. You can breathe fire from the baby dragon, so essentially you've got a flamethrower on your wrist. Now I will say to be careful with that, because it doesn't kill the zombies instantly, and I've downed myself actually a couple of times using this, especially into the higher rounds. But it's still fun to have a flamethrower, kind of reminiscent of back in the World at War days. But then you also can let that dragon fly off, very similar to the swords in Shadows of Evil, and that dragon will just fly around and continue to kill zombies until your specialist weapon runs out. So again, just like the sword in Shadows of Evil. And while he's out flying around, you have this super punch, it almost reminds me of the Galvanuckles from Black Ops 2, but it's definitely a supercharged punch. And if you do this while the dragon is on your wrist, the dragon just kind of bites at the zombies. But if you let him fly off and then you try to melee a zombie, you'll have this super punch effect. So it's a really cool specialist weapon, probably one of my favorites in the game, but my goodness, it takes a long time to get, and it is extremely tedious and time consuming.